in cytology or cell biology. Today we will deal about one more important cell organelle present in the eukaryotic type of the cell, and that cell organelle is the nucleus. Just see this one figure. This is a plasma membrane. Inside the plasma membrane, the region of cytoplasm. Within cytoplasm, different cell organelles will be present. This yellowish colored structure is nucleus, and this nucleus has a nuclear membrane. On a nuclear membrane, these are the nuclear pores. Minute openings are present on the nuclear membrane. They are called as a nuclear pore. These droplet-like structures are actually the ribosomes. So ribosomes are also present on the nuclear membrane. This one region, which is enclosed by means of a nuclear membrane, is called as a nucleoplasm, and within the nucleoplasm some thread-like structures are generally observed in the interphasic condition. These are called as a chromatin fibers, and this one structure is a nucleolus, which is a characteristic feature of the eukaryotic type of the cell. One more thing you have to observe here: the nuclear membrane is associated to the endoplasmic reticulum, or in other words, endoplasmic reticulum are generally associated to the nuclear membrane. These are the rough endoplasmic reticulum, as ribosomes are present, and these are smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which form a tubule-like structure, reticular structure. These are the Golgi complexes or Golgi bodies present in the cell, present of the secretory vesicles, then lysosome. So this is a general idea where the nucleus is present inside the cell. This one is again typical figure of the nucleus. Here this one will act as a nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope. These are minute openings present on the nuclear membrane, which are called as nuclear pores. These are the thread-like or filamentous fibers structure observed in the nucleoplasm, chromatin fibers. This one is a nucleolus, and the nuclear membrane, which encloses the amorphous acidophilic substance or sap. This sap is called as a nucleoplasm, and this one is a nucleolus. So this is a typical structure of the nucleus. This one again figure of nucleus. If you see the nucleus, it shows the nuclear envelope, and this nuclear envelope is two-layered, or it forms the outer membrane and inner membrane. This is the structure of nucleolus. This is a sap present inside the nucleus, which is called as a nucleoplasm. Inside the nucleoplasm, such a kind of thread-like structures are observed, which are called as a chromatin fibers. On the outer nuclear membrane, such type of ribosomes are present, as well as minute openings are present on the nuclear membrane, which are called as nuclear pores. This is the part which shows the nuclear envelope, and this one is a outer nuclear envelope, and this one is a inner nuclear envelope. If you see the details of the nuclear envelope, then Each nuclear envelope is a unit membrane and is a trilaminar. These are the protein layers and these are the lipid bilayers. This inner one and this one is outer. This is a protein, this one is a protein, and in between protein layers lipid bilayer is sandwiched. The space present between the outer membrane and inner membrane is called as a perinuclear space. Okay, this is one more figure of nucleus, outer nuclear membrane, then inner nuclear membrane. This one is inner nuclear membrane. The space present in between outer and inner nuclear membrane is called as a perinuclear space. The nuclear membrane encloses the nucleoplasm. So this one structure, entire structure is a nucleoplasm. Okay, and inside the nucleoplasm such a kind of a thread like structures or a fibrous structure observed in the interphasic condition, which are called as the chromatin fibers or chromatin threads. This is the structure of a nucleolus. So this one is again the structure of a nucleus. One more figure. These are the endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum as the ribosomes are present. This is a nuclear membrane, outer nuclear membrane, inner nuclear membrane. This is a nucleoplasm. Inside the nucleoplasm chromatin fibers are present, and this one dark color body which is acidophilic, this one is called as a nucleolus. One more figure as present in the stock.adobe.com. Typical figure of the cell, nuclear membrane. This one is a cell membrane or plasma membrane. This one is the cytoplasm, and inside the cytoplasm different cell organelles are present. This one is the structure of the peroxisome. This is these are the ribosomes, these are the Golgi apparatus, mitochondrion, these are the lysosomes again. This is the cell membrane, then cytoplasm labeling, the labeling of nucleus. These are the endoplasmic reticulums, centrosome, as this one is a animal cell, a rough endoplasmic reticulum as well as a smooth endoplasmic reticulums. Okay, so just see about the nucleus. Nucleus, which is a most significant cell organelle present inside the eukaryotic type of the cell. Total functioning of the cell is regulated or governed by means of the nucleus. It controls various metabolic activities present in the cell. Okay, present in the eukaryotic cell, that means they are present in plants and animal cells. Prokaryotic cell do not have a distinct nucleus. As you know, the major difference between the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, that nucleus is intact in eukaryotic type of the cell, while in prokaryotic type of the cell this nucleus is not enveloped by means of the nuclear membrane. That's why the nucleoid which is present in the prokaryotic type of the cell, or the material present in the nucleus, is suspended in the cytoplasm in case of prokaryotic type of the cell, and therefore prokaryotic type of the cell do not have distinct nucleus. In prokaryotic cell, the nucleus is represented by means of single double-stranded circular DNA molecule which is without nuclear membrane and is called as a nucleoid. One more part we have to see in the nucleus is called as a nucleoplasmic index. Actually, nucleoplasmic index is nothing but it is the ratio of volume of nucleus to the volume of cytoplasm. Okay, So the ratio between size of the nucleus and volume of a cytoplasm within a cell is called as a nucleoplasmic index. For each cell, the volume of nucleus and volume of cytoplasm is variable. Okay, ratio between the size of the nucleus and volume of the cytoplasm of a cell is known as a nucleoplasmic index, or this one is also called as a nucleoplasmic ratio or karyoplasmic ratio. Hertwig in 1906 expressed and calculated the nucleoplasmic index as a nucleoplasmic index is equal to Vn divided by Vc minus Vn, where Np is the nucleoplasmic index, Vn stands for the volume of the nucleus, Vc stands for the volume of the cytoplasm. So it is actually the ratio between volume of nucleus to the volume of cytoplasm. So the volume of nucleus is usually directly proportional to the volume of cytoplasm. Okay, so Vn is directly proportional to the Vc. Nucleoplasmic index is fixed for each cell, and when this nucleoplasmic index disturbs, cell division, either mitosis or meiosis, takes place within a cell. Size of the nucleus is depend upon the number of chromosome or DNA content within a cell. What are the haploid cells, diploid cell, polyploid cell? Just see. If the cell contains single set of chromosome, then it is called as a haploid cell, usually the gametes. The cell containing two sets of the chromosome is called as a diploid cell. Usually the somatic cell contain the two sets of the chromosome, or they are diploid. Cell containing more than two sets of the chromosome are called as a polyploid cells, and these polyploid cells have usually larger nuclei, as the number of chromosomes or the sets of chromosomes are present more than 2. Just see the ultrastructure of nucleus. This nucleus contains This nucleus shows 4 parts. First one is the nuclear membrane, or this one is called as a nuclear envelope. Second one is called as a nucleoplasm, or this nucleoplasm is also called as a nuclear sap or karyolymph or ground substance. Next one is a chromatin fibers. These chromatin fibers or chromatin threads which are suspended into the nucleoplasm, and the next one is a nucleolus. This one structure is called as a nucleolus. Just see about the nuclear membrane. This nuclear membrane is thin and delicate and elastic structure. It divides the cell into 2 parts. One is a nucleus and another one is a cytoplasm. This nucleoplasm divides the cell into 2 parts, nucleus and cytoplasm. It acts as a pathway for transport of material between the nucleus and cytoplasm. The nuclear membrane made up of 2 unit membrane. The first one is called as a outer membrane, and the next one is called as a inner membrane. Each unit membrane is a trilaminar. What is trilaminar? It is made up of protein, lipid bilayer and again protein. That's why it is called as a trilaminar structure. Both membranes are separated by means of a space, and that space is called as a perinuclear space, and this perinuclear space is about 100 to 150 angstrom in width. Outer membrane of the nucleus is the rough one. It is due to the presence of ribosomes on its outer surface and is usually connected or associated with the endoplasmic reticulum, while inner membrane is smooth and sometimes it is associated with the chromatin material. The openings in the nuclear membrane called the nuclear pores, and the nuclear membrane usually disappears during the prophase and reappears again at the end of telophase. As you see the process of mitosis, it contains the prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. During the process of cell division, this nuclear membrane disappears and again reappear at the last one stage of the cell division. Just see the functions of the nuclear membrane. This nuclear membrane is permeable to small cations as well as anions, but it is impermeable to very large structures like ribonucleoproteins, macromolecules and other materials from the nucleus to cytoplasm or cytoplasm to nucleus. There is also a strong evidence that this nuclear membrane is involved in the biogenesis of cell organelles like annulate lamellas or the endoplasmic reticulum. From endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, from Golgi complex to lysosome. So various cell organelles are generated or synthesized by the activity of the nucleus. Just see the ultrastructure of the nuclear pore. So the nuclear membrane is not continuous. It is interrupted by means of the minute opening, and these minute openings or pores are called as the nuclear pores. The number of the nuclear pores present in the species depend the number of pores present in the species depends on the type of the cells, or the number of pores depend on the species. Number of pores depend on the species and type of the cell. Correct one, this one. The nuclear pore are octagonal and about 600 angstrom in diameter. This is the structure which is a octagonal one, and this octagonal structure is enclosed by means of this circular disc-like structure which is called as a annulus. The nuclear pore along with annulus is called as a pore complex. And if you see this one figure, this is a outer nuclear membrane, this one is the inner nuclear membrane. The space present in between these two is called as a perinuclear space, and these are the pores. These are the nuclear pores. Then what is the function performed by this nuclear pore? Actually the function and chemical constituent is not clearly understood, but nuclear pore may allow the exchange of macromolecules, ribonucleoproteins and ions from nucleus to the cytoplasm, or from cytoplasm to the nuclear cytoplasm to the nucleus. Next one structure is the nuclear sap, or this one is also called as nucleoplasm, or also called as a karyoplasm, or also called as a ground substance. The nucleoplasm is the part, or this one is a matrix like structure which is enclosed by means of these nuclear envelope. So this one is present inside the nuclear membrane. It is a transparent, semi-solid, and contains granular or acidophilic substances, then chromatin material, as well as this one structure which is called as a nucleolus. Next one is a chromatin fibers or chromatin threads. One must remember that these chromatin fibers are visible only during the interphasic condition. At the time of cell division, these chromatin fibers become thick, rod shape, which are called as a chromosome. So the nucleoplasm contains thread-like coil and much elongated structure which are known as a chromatin fibers or chromatin threads, and these are observed during the interphase nucleus. During cell division, these chromatin fibers become thick, rod-like or ribbon-like and called as a chromosome. Just see about the nucleolus. This is the structure which is called as a nucleolus. Just see the ultra structure. Nucleolus are large, ball-like and acidophilic bodies found inside the nucleus. Number of nucleolus may vary from 1, 2 or 4, but it depends on the species or set of chromosomes present inside the nucleus. It is a characteristic feature of a eukaryotic cell as it is absent in the prokaryotic type of the cell. Nucleoli are larger in actively synthesizing cell while they are smaller in inactive synthesizing cell. Diameter ranges from 1 to 5 millimicron, and under electron microscope this nucleolus shows the structures which are generally considered as a granular region. These are the granules. Some fibrils are present, or these are the minute fibrils, and these granules and fibrils are present inside the matrix region, and this matrix is actually bounded by means of chromatin material which is present inside the nucleoplasm. So nucleolus is not bounded by means of any unit membrane. The chromatin material which are present in the nucleoplasm actually surrounds the nucleolus, and usually the calcium ions makes intact contact of these chromatin fibers or chromatin material to the nucleolus. So granules are present, fibrils are present, matrix region is present, and chromatin is present. This chromatin is nothing but the nucleolar associated chromatin, or this one region is called as a perinuclear chromatin. Okay, just see about the granules. These are the granules which are rich in ribonucleoproteins, and these are suspended into the matrix region. Generally, these granules are present at the periphery of nucleolus or may be scattered. And if you see the size of the granules, then they are about 150 to 200 angstrom in diameter, and these granules contains ribonucleoproteins. It is suggested that granules gradually modify into the ribosomes. No doubt, ribosomes actually made up of, or they contain the ribonucleoprotein. So, and these granules also contain the ribonucleoprotein. So this suggestion that granules gradually modify into the ribosome. Second one is a fibrils. First one region is a granular region or granules. Second one is a fibrillar region or fibrils. So these are the fibrils and these are the granules. Okay, this fibrillar region is also known as a nucleonema or filamentous part, composed of many fibers which are called as a fibrils. And these fibrils, even they are if you see this one, these are seems to very elongated, but they are 50 to 80 angstrom in length. These are also made up of ribonucleoprotein, and generally the granules which are present in this matrix region are generally formed or modified from the fibrils. So these fibrils gradually modify into the granules. So both granules and fibrils contains the ribonucleoprotein and may help in the formation of the ribosomes. Both granules and fibrils are digested by means of enzyme which is called as a RNase or a ribonuclease enzyme. Then matrix region. This is the region of matrix in which granules and fibrils are suspended. This one is amorphous and homogeneous substance. Granules and fibrils are suspended and composed of some proteins which can be easily digested by means of enzyme pepsin. And the last one, this one structure is called as a chromatin or nucleolar associated chromatin. Nucleolus is not surrounded by means of a limiting membrane or a unit membrane. The chromatin surrounding the nucleolus enters and remains at the periphery of the nucleolus. Chromatin surrounding the nucleolus, that means the chromatin material that are present in the nucleoplasm, they enters and remain at the periphery of this nucleolus, and this structure is called as a nucleolar associated chromatin. Chromatin material surrounding the nucleolus enters and enter at the periphery and remain at the periphery of the nucleolus. These are electron dense chromatin material usually present at the periphery of nucleolus and contains DNA and serve as a template for RNA synthesis. Calcium ions outside the nucleolus, that means present in the nucleoplasm, maintains the intact organization of the nucleolus. So chromatin material, then matrix region, then granules and fibrils are present in the nucleolus. Just see the functions of nucleolus. Of course, first one function will be the ribosome formation. The granules as well as fibrils contain the ribonucleoprotein, therefore they are involved in the formation of ribosomes. Formation of ribosomes present in the cytoplasm. Then role in the mitosis. It is observed that when nucleolus is injured by some means during the process of mitosis, the process of mitosis within a cell is permanently stopped, and therefore it is considered that nucleolus may play significant role in the mitosis. Nucleolus play significant role in a mitosis. Then transmitting the genetic information. As they contain DNA and synthesizes the RNA, therefore that takes part in transmitting the genetic information from generation to generation. Next one function is a RNA production. It is a most active site of a RNA synthesis. It produces about 70 to 90% of cellular RNA in many cells, and it is a source of rRNA. And this one function, protein synthesis, Maggio and some others suggest that protein synthesis takes place in the nucleolus, but as you know that protein synthesis function is played by means of the ribosomes. However, others suggested that ribosomal proteins are synthesized by means of the nucleolus. So this is about the nucleolus and nucleus. Within the nucleus, nuclear membrane is present, then nucleoplasm is present inside the nuclear membrane, chromatin material is present in the nucleolus, and this one structure which is called as a nucleolus. So this is about the nucleus. Next one part we will see in the next one video. Till then,